Do you remember a while back? I'm thinking it was November, I think 2023. We started talking about the Spirit Lake shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. And that was involving a woman who was later identified as S.A. Floyd. Well, this situation, I find just really, really strange. She was a 67-year-old woman. And you remember we read through that article where we talked about somebody had, like a family member, somebody had went into her home, called the police or something, called a welfare check.
It was already strange, yeah.
Yeah. And then there was some reporting about her being barricaded in her home. And then
couldn't see, but was shooting a gun.
Could barely walk, could barely see, like had a lot of issues, was elderly. Well, I haven't done an update on this, and I just realized it recently, so I figured we needed to. But the sheriff's office, so there was a second party, a sheriff's office coming in to investigate the police department that was involved in this police shooting.
Yeah.
Well,
the police department, or you mean the police shooting itself?
The Kootenai County Sheriff's Office did an investigation on the Spirit Lake Police Department because the Spirit Lake Police Department is the one who shot her. Their officers shot her.
No, I understand. I just was trying to clarify if the sheriff was doing an investigation on the police department or
those officers and the shooting
involved in
the shooting.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure because we covered so many cases last week, like in that area that we thought we saw corruption. I wouldn't be surprised if they were investigating the whole police department.
No, it doesn't sound like that. So this was posted the 18th of December, and it says that the sheriff's office finished their investigation and are sending it off to the prosecutor's office for review. Apparently, the initial call was somebody requesting a welfare check on her because she wanted to end herself.
Okay.
And this was at the Maple Tree Court Senior Living Apartments on November 1st is when it happened. The person, I believe, was a family member, but they went into her apartment and then came back out to meet with the cops. And then the police officers went in her apartment and counted her, and within 7 minutes, she was shot dead. And we still don't know why. We still don't know why this happened or what happened. Then the officers just leave the apartment and go outside and wait for more officers. They kill her, go outside and wait for more officers. So there wasn't really a standoff. It doesn't really sound like that's a standoff where somebody's barricaded in their room. So I'm a bit confused how when the press release or the press conference, happened, why we were getting these reports of her being barricaded in there with a gun.
Well, it was coming from that night because news showed up quick. News showed up while they were still claiming that she was barricaded in there, which, yes, I think I'm onto what you're saying here. And it sounds questionable because if that happened within 7 minutes, why an hour and a half later are the news being told to stay back? This is a standoff. And
right.
Within 7 minutes, this was concluded regardless what the reason is.
Right. So there wouldn't have been news there during that 7 minutes. There wasn't. So when this first happened, I saw it right away. It came up for whatever reason on something on my computer, and I was watching it literally as it was happening. And there was like a standoff for like an hour. Supposedly, that's what was being told to the media. But really, this had already all happened and she was dead. Isn't that weird?
It's very strange.
Well, so that's not the only thing we found out, but they say that there was a gun found next to her body. And that's it.
Is she the owner of a gun?
I don't know.
Ever have a gun?
I don't know. Those officers were put on leave for investigation. There is no announcement of whether or not they have been allowed to return to duty or anything like that. This was posted December 18th, and I can't find anything more current than this. This is it. That the cops that then had arrived as backup went in and saw her laying there deceased with a gun laying next to her body with a bullet wound.
Strange.
Well, I don't know about a bullet wound, how many or anything like that. It doesn't say that. They won't give much more information than that.
I would be curious because those details really matter. And this is the part of Idaho where we have theorized that there is some pretty substantial corruption in the way that cases and investigations are being handled. It's really interesting that the sheriff's department was asked to investigate. There's just some big questions here. That's interesting.
I mean, look at this headline. Woman found dead after SWAT standoff.
Yeah, SWAT.
And when
it doesn't sound like it was SWAT.
No, it was 2 police officers that showed up to do a welfare check. And then within 7 minutes, she was dead. And then you're getting media reports for like an hour after saying they're in a SWAT standoff. And then there's reports coming out that, oh, this is S.A. Floyd. She's a 67-year-old woman who's blind and walks with a cane. Yeah. And was barricaded in her apartment. And then now there's this.
Crazy.
It's not making sense.
No, I agree with you.
So I'm really curious what the prosecutor's going to do with this. I'm really curious what's going to happen to these police officers, because to me, this is screaming red flag, like something's wrong here. But I don't know. I will keep my eyes on it. I'm concerned. This doesn't feel right. Go figure now that this has come out. I can't find the news article that said she had barricaded herself in her room, but I know we have it on our stream because we read it and showed it. So I'm going to have to go back and find that video footage. Because this is important to me. Like, this seems like an injustice, you know? It's how it's feeling. It's got the making so far. We don't know for sure. Hopefully we can get more information. I know that there is a local activist who held a memorial for her or something like that. And that's interesting. An activist. But I don't know much more. I don't know if any organizations are getting involved in this. Because, I mean, we don't really have much information yet. And I'm sure people see the red flags here and are waiting to get more.
Yeah.
But let me know what you think. Does this sound right to you? Because it doesn't to me. But I want to hear your thoughts, ideas, opinions in the comments.